Should Indian Muslims be worried about the citizenship in India? Is the CAA 2019 unconstitutional? In this video, we will learn about the Indian Citizenship Act and the highly controversial Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. Why did the government do this? What are the benefits of it? And is it against our minorities? Let us see through this video. First and foremost, before we understand the Citizenship Act and the Citizenship Amendment Act, we must know who the citizen is. A citizen is a person who has a right to most of the rights in the country he lives in. In layman's term, a citizen is the one who has the right to have the maximum rights in his country. Basically, a country has three categories of people. Number one, citizens. Number two, foreigners. Number three are stateless people. In foreigners, there are three types: legal, illegal, and refugees. Legal foreigners are those people who enter the country with visa and passport from another country with the consent of the country they are entering. They are sometimes referred as migrants. Illegal foreigners are individuals who enter the border without any paperwork, either by trespassing or without permission. They are called immigrants. Refugees, often known as asylum seekers, they seek residence in another country when they realize their survival is being threatened in the country they live in. However, once they are granted the permission to enter the following country, they are often termed as refugees. And they are also regarded as legal aliens if they are given the refugee status. The last category includes stateless people. They are the ones who cannot recognize themselves by any country. The citizenship of India is covered in the Section 2 of the Constitution from Article 5 to Article 11. Let's briefly explore what these articles have to say about the citizenship. According to Article 5, anyone who was the resident of India and still resides in India is considered a citizen of India. It basically means that if you're a resident in India and you still want to be here in the future, you're considered as citizen of the India. Article 6 says that during the partition of India, people from both the sides, Pakistan and India, were given the chance to pick the country they wanted to live in. This means whoever from Pakistan came towards India during 1947 to 1948, they are considered as a citizen of India. Article 7 states that if any Indian opted to travel to Pakistan during the partition and later realized that India was superior and returned before 1948, was also considered as a citizen of India. According to Article 8, if someone was settled in a foreign country and were of an Indian ancestry and heritage and decided to return to India after the independence, was also deemed as an Indian citizen. Indian citizenship in Article 9 is defined as single citizenship. This means you cannot have citizenship in another country while holding the citizenship in India. When you become a citizen of another country, you automatically lose your citizenship in India. Unlike other industrialized countries, for example USA, there is dual citizenship, which comes in two varieties. Number one, you're a citizen of the state and also a citizen of the country, such as you're a citizen of Washington DC and also a citizen of United States. Number two, in this, you're a citizen of two separate countries, for example, America and Norway. Article 10 states that once you receive your citizenship, the Constitution guarantees that the citizenship will not be withdrawn under specific conditions. And lastly, the Article 11 says that all these articles are amendable. Now, let's review the Citizenship Act that was passed in the year 1955, which consists 19 sections. But for the ease of comprehension, we'll only look at 8 sections, which will give us an insight into the acquisition of citizenship in India and the termination of citizenship in India. There are 5 sections for the initial attainment of citizenship in India. Section 3 is also termed as Jus Soli. This part states that if you are born in India on an Indian soil, you are an Indian citizen. Section 4 is also called as Jus Sanguinis. This means if you're born in another country and your father is a resident of India, you can petition for citizenship in India within a year without any obstacle. Section 5 sometimes is termed as registration. Let us understand this with a narrative. Imagine you're a person of Indian ancestry and you've gone to a distant nation to finish your education. When you're there, you see a lovely boy or a girl and you decide to marry. Now you want to travel back to India and your spouse wants a citizenship in India. This is also possible by applying for it. After applying, your spouse must live in India for 8 years to gain the citizenship of India. For example, Sonia Gandhi, she was technically Italian, but once she married Rajiv Gandhi, she obtained the citizenship in India under the Section 5 of 1955 Citizenship Act. Section 6. Naturalization. Special personalities from other country who excel in sports, arts, science, literature and other fields can seek citizenship in India with ease. For instance, in the next 20 years, India will become the world's #1 economy as well as a developed nation. And Elon Musk wants to become a citizen of India. The government will not think twice before consenting to Elon's request. Section 7. This provision states that if India ever incorporates another country's region, all of the people who live there will be granted the citizenship of India. Now that we have covered how to gain citizenship in India, let's see how the citizenship can be cancelled in India. Section 8. Renunciation. This means that any Indian citizen has the full right to renounce his Indian citizenship at any point of time. Section 9. Termination. This means if a person seeks a citizenship in other country, then his citizenship will be terminated in India. He will no longer be a citizen of India. Section 10. Deprivation. According to this, the government has the ability to take away the citizenship of those who earned the citizenship through the process of naturalization or registration. However, this only happens if the person is involved in terrorist activities or etc. But if the person is born on this land and no matter what crime he performs, even the Supreme Court does not have the ability to take away his citizenship. Before we continue this video, we must know this. Both the ruling party and the opposition party are using different narratives to spread their stories. We must ensure that we are not part of any narratives and make a rational decision because there is so much fuss around this topic. People who are not aware of the law are speaking against it.
I don't want to discuss details right now on screen on top of my voice. If everything was okay, why would so many people do this?
And people who are for the law do not know what they are talking.
एक्ट पढ़ा है पूरा मैं आपके लिए एक्ट लेकर आई
मैंने रेलेवेंट सेक्शंस पढ़े हैं
We must not be a blind follower. We must understand both sides' arguments and make our own decision. CAA means Citizenship Amendment Act, which basically indicates that whatever we have spoken about so far, the Citizenship Act, that can be altered in different scenarios. This is not the first time the government has passed the CAA. It was completed 6 times before the 2019 CAA. For now, let's talk about the recent Amendment Act.
The All Assam Students' Union came out on the street in different parts of the state to protest against the implementation of the act.
SDPI, the political outfit, has launched protests in Chennai and Tamil Nadu,
protesting against a law that they say excludes them based solely on religion.
दिल्ली में इस कानून का विरोध शुरू हो गया है। जामिया मिलिया इस्लामिया के छात्रों ने सीए का विरोध किया।
In 2015, BJP passed the Citizenship Amendment Act. This act basically said that anyone who is facing religious harassments in the countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh and have entered India before 2014 can apply for citizenship in India. And this act also states that if a person is applying for citizenship in India due to religion harassment in these countries, he must belong to these 6 religions. And the government passed the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. In this act, they reduced the naturalization period from 11 years to 5 years. The opposition is against this because they are worried about these 5 major reasons. Number 1, they are asking why are Muslims not included in this act. Number 2, they are also claiming that BJP is plotting this because they can boost their vote bank by 1.4 crore people.
एनडीए को तो 400 पार कर पाई के रहेगा, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी को 370 सीट अवश्य देगा,
which is equivalent to 10 to 11 seats. Number 3, according to the opposition, this act is unconstitutional because in our constitution it is written that we must not discriminate anyone on the basis of religion. Number 4, the opposition also say that India will become a crime hub once there is an infiltration of 1.4 crore people from outside in our country. The number of rape cases, murders and theft will increase.
सारी कानून व्यवस्था चरमरा जाएगी, चोरियां, डकैतियां, बलात्कार बढ़ेंगे हमारे देश के अंदर, पूरी कानून व्यवस्था और पता नहीं कैसे कैसे लोग आएंगे वहाँ पे। सुरक्षा व्यवस्था, हमारे देश की सुरक्षा व्यवस्था का क्या होगा? चारों तरफ दंगे फैल जाएंगे। ये क्यों लाए हैं कानून? बता रहे हैं बीजेपी केवल अपना वोट बैंक बनाना चाहती है। 1.5 करोड़ लोगों को लाके
एक बार ये सिलसिला चालू हो गया, एक बार दरवाजे खुल गए तो फिर बहुत बड़ी संख्या में पाकिस्तानी और बांग्लादेश से लोग भारत में आने लगेंगे। ये देश के लिए बेहद खतरनाक है।
Number 5. Some people also criticize government telling that India is not some dharmashala to allow anyone who wants to enter India. Now let's see what the government has to say about all these allegations. Number 1, the government claims that all the 3 countries mentioned are entirely dominated by Muslim population and other religions such as Hindus are being prosecuted in this country. We can say this since at the time of partition, the Hindu population in Pakistan was between 24 to 27%. However, it has now dropped to less than 1%. Where did all the Hindus go? They did not come to India. This means something has gone wrong in Pakistan. Every now and then we read about how many Hindus are forced to convert to Islam. Similarly, in Bangladesh, the Hindu population has decreased from 22% to 8%.
जब विभाजन हुआ तब पाकिस्तान में 23% हिंदू थे, आज 3.7% बच गए। कहाँ गए सारे? इतने सारे तो यहाँ आए नहीं। धर्म परिवर्तन हुआ, अपमानित किया गया। और स्वयं कांग्रेस के नेताओं ने आजादी के वक्त सैकड़ों भाषणों में कहा है कि अभी मारकाट चल रही है, अभी जहाँ है वहाँ रह जाइए, बाद में जब कभी भी भारत में आएंगे आपका स्वागत है।
Number 2, the government claims that the CAA is not illegal since there is no direct law in our constitution that prohibits discrimination against foreigners. Number 3, the government claims that it is not some dharmashala because it only welcomes minorities, unlike majority of Hindus from Sri Lanka. Number 4, the opposition claims that India will become a crime hub, which is senseless because all of those people are already in India, and once if they get the citizenship, they'll start working and make a living for themselves. So in that regard, crime rate shall reduce.
दिल्ली के चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, वो कहते हैं, वो सवाल उठा रहे हैं, उन्होंने कहा अंधाधुंध लोग आएंगे, बीजेपी उन्हें नागरिकता देगी, उससे थेफ्ट, रॉबरीज, रेप बढ़ जाएगा।
दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री, उनको मालूम नहीं है कि ये सारे लोग आ चुके हैं, आज भारत में ही रह रहे हैं, सिर्फ इनको अधिकार नहीं मिला है, वो अधिकार देने की बात है। 2014 तक जो आ गए इनको नागरिकता देनी है, और इतनी ही चिंता है तो वो क्यों बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठियों की बात नहीं करते?
Now let us address the most awaited questions. How will this law affect the Indian Muslims? Will it result in the loss of citizenship for Indian Muslims? The direct response is no, not at all. This law or act has nothing to do with Indian national. Any politician, celebrity or influencer who claims that Indian Muslims will be affected by this law, they are lying. Don't believe them. Use your own brains. Now that you have heard both the sides of debate, you may decide if this law is useful or not. I hope you have all understood what CAA is. Before we end this video, I have a question for all of you. Imagine a pregnant woman boarded a flight in India. It took off to USA and it is right now flying in Dubai. While in the air, she gives birth to a baby. Which country does the baby belong to? Or which country's citizenship will the baby get? Option A, India, because the flight took off from there. Option B, Dubai, because the baby was born in the air while flying above Dubai. Option C, USA, as it was the final destination. Option D, no citizenship. Now you guys put your brain to test and drop the answers in comment box. Thank you for watching the video. If you guys require the same information in Kannada or Tamil, do check out the channels given in the description. This is Samuel Phillips signing off.